I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're speaking with Cherice TyRhonda Peagler. She is the author of an amazing children's book. It is called, well, it's got a delicious name, actually. It's called Candy Apples. And she has passionately crafted a narrative that nurtures honesty, integrity, and contentment with delayed gratification in the hearts of young readers. Through the eyes of her main character, Cameron, which happens to be the name of her son, her little boy sitting next to her, the story offers a guide to parents, guardians, and leaders to foster meaningful dialogues with children about making positive choices and developing strong character. We are delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Glass Link for helping us put her in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers like her by subscribing to our channel. Charisse, thanks so much for being our guest today on Spotlight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cameron, good to see you today.
Good to see you too.
Okay, I need strong voices out of both you guys because we're having a little trouble hearing you. Maybe sit a little closer to the computer. And let me start out by asking you, Charisse, how did you come up with the idea for Candy Apples?
I came up with the idea for Candy Apples because it started off with the Garden of Eden in the book of Genesis, where Adam and Eve, they had to make a decision. And so Candy Apples is about making choices. And so I tailored it towards the Garden of Eden story. And I put the cookie in it because the cookie represents something that is given to a person now, and you can have it now, and you have to wait for the candy apple, which teaches the delayed gratification.
Exactly. Now, when it comes to young people and even adults, explain to the folks at home and to the potential readers why appreciating the concept of delayed gratification is important.
Understanding delayed gratification is important because you could have something greater than what you can currently have if you have the tolerance, the patience to just wait for it, and just to work up into that. And it's a beautiful thing when you can get something that you've been waiting for a long time, and you can enjoy it then when you do get it.
All right. I totally agree. Certainly that was Adam and Eve's mistake. They had all of paradise. They just couldn't eat those apples, but you know, they got tempted and ate those apples. Now, the handsome young man next to you is Cameron, and that is your son. And you decided to incorporate him in the book, correct?
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I wanted Cameron to be the main character because my motivation for writing the book was because I'm a mother first, a mental health professional, and working in the schools, I noticed that kids needed to understand integrity, making positive choices, and waiting to the right time, or when it's okay to have something. You can't get everything you want at that time. And so I knew that I wanted my son to have all of those positive characteristics. And while I'm teaching him these things, I could teach it to those who I work with in the mental health field. And so I put Cameron in the story because I've been told that it encourages your children to want to read if they see themselves in the story. And so he can literally see himself in the book in order to learn these positive characteristics.
Absolutely. And I see Cameron going like this right now with his eyebrows. Hey, Cameron, I can do that too. How did you like it when mom came up with the book that had you as a main character? Tell me about that. Was it exciting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was exciting. Well, mom loves you a lot. That's why she wanted you to have your little bit of fame there in the book, and it's great. Tell me a little bit about your work in your professional life, Charisse.
My work, it focuses on helping parents and teachers just to guide a student or their child to make positive characteristics positive decisions and help foster those positive characteristics within themselves. And my books, they do require someone, an adult, to sit with the child and review the material, because it may not be something a 5-year-old could just sit down and start reading. So my books are written so that the child can be guided as they go through the book.
Absolutely. Tell us how many books you've written, when you started writing, and that kind of thing.
I started writing in 2019. And I started writing after as a marriage that I was in, as that was ending. And so as I was going into single parenting, I knew that I was going to have to be very intentional about what I wanted for my son and what I wanted to teach him. So that encouraged me to start writing, so I could have a blueprint for him. Because I do know that if kids hear the repetition of what you're trying to teach them, they're better able to learn. And so the book, it took about 2 years to be produced, just because COVID hit and things slowed down. So that was my first book. My second book, called Seeds of Faith, I just published that. That was June 1st, 2023. And so that's another book. It also teaches positive character and making sure that you work hard for whatever you want in life to accomplish your goals. And the third book that I wrote, that it is not published right now, but it will be coming out soon. It's called Flexibly Challenge Mind and Autistic Flow. And that's for helping parents and educators understand how to assist and help an autistic child. Because when Cameron was going to kindergarten, he was diagnosed with autism, but high functioning level 2. And so it's challenging to parent and work with the autistic child in the classroom, because autism deals with how they socialize with others, how their mind works and their emotions. And so the third book gives some tools to help in that way.
Absolutely. Sounds terrific. And certainly parents of children who are on the spectrum need all of the support they can get. And your books sound like they're an important tool. Tell me about your work outside of being a writer. Do you work with children also?
I do work with children. I've been in the school system for about 15 years.
As a teacher or a guidance counselor, what's your role?
As a mental health counselor.
Okay.
And so I work alongside with the school counselors, the guidance counselors, and the teachers. But my role is to help the children in the schools with depression, anxiety. They may be grieving the loss of someone in their family, a friend. And so I help the school staff to help manage those emotions that's going around in the school.
Cool.
And so that's my role. And I do work in a middle school. And before the middle school, I did work with adults also. Depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar. So I have that background as well. And I enjoy working as a mobile crisis team counselor when I had to go to people's homes when they may have been having challenges in their home with their teenagers. And so I've been in the field since 2004, and I really enjoy it because I enjoy seeing people work through their problems and seeing that they can be an overcomer.
Absolutely. And it's nice for them to have a compassionate, thoughtful person like yourself to be able to go to. Why do you think we have so many more kids today, or at least it seems, that suffer from anxiety and depression and mental health issues? Maybe they always were there and we just didn't recognize it or label it? Or do you think that things have gotten a little tougher for kids over the years?
I do think life is very busy and presents lots of challenges because so much is going on, and they want to be accepted by their peers and the adults around them. And also, if the parents aren't able to give a lot of time and attention, they may go try to seek that attention elsewhere. And if they don't seek the right attention, it can cause all those issues, the depression, the anxiety. And so I noticed that those kids who do not have the support that's needed, or they may have the support, but just life situations come up and they just have a hard time navigating through those things. If they don't have the tools to navigate through those things, it will cause those side effects with the anxiety and depression. And so I do feel like it depends on the support and the situations that they face.
Awesome. Tell us a little bit about Cameron. How old is he? Is he, I'm guessing, I don't know. It's hard to tell on camera. It's hard to tell on TV. So tell us a little bit about him, where he goes, what type of school he goes to, and that kind of stuff.
Oh, can I see?
I'll start and then I'll let you say it, okay?
Sure.
Cameron is 6 years old. And what else do you want to let them know about yourself?
And this is our and this is our candy apples. And I want to see, this is my mom, Cherice TyRhonda Peagler. And then I love her. And she still loves me too. And
and he wanted to know about your school. Cameron goes to it's a school for autism, and it supports them in their
and it's Rivermont.
And it supports them in their behavior, health, and emotions. And he has speech therapy, occupational therapy, and it allows him to work on these tools so that as he grows and become an older person, he'll be able to better manage his emotions. And so he is in that school as of right now. And then once they see him continue to make progress, he'll go back into his main school, unless I decide to still keep him in some kind of public school, private school.
Well, he seems like he's doing great. He's articulate,
Yes.
He's smart, he's humorous, he's affectionate. So I think he's meeting all his milestones from what I can see from my little side chair over here. So I'm sure you're very, very proud of him. Tell me what it was like writing the book, how long it took you, I know the story was inspired by the story of Adam and Eve, but tell us a little bit about the writing process for you.
Let's see, the writing process, when I usually write, I just put down all of my ideas. I can usually write a book in less than an hour. And after that hour is over, I may put it down for like 3 days and then go back and fill in the gaps and develop the story even more. After I complete the full story, I'll get many friends and coworkers to read over the information just to make sure it flows, they understand it, it gives the message that I'm intending for it to give. And then after that, after I have many people to listen to the storyline and edit it, I submit. And the pictures is what I also enjoy, because I get a chance to tell the artist exactly what I'm looking for and what pictures I want to see come out of the story. And so it's fun to describe what I want on paper and watch the artist actually bring that to life through art.
So you actually worked with an illustrator and described to him or her the type of artwork you wanted to tell, help reinforce the story.
Yes.
So that does sound like fun, because you have your vision in your head and then you get to describe it, and it sounds great. Tell us a little bit about how this book can be used to help parents speak to their children about integrity.
The story has a step-by-step process on how to make a choice, and it gives consequences. It talks about, well, if you decide to make a poor choice, the consequences for that, and the consequences for making a positive choice. So the parent can go through the book and it's a step-by-step guide on how to make choices. And so it opens up conversation for the child and the guardian to talk about these things as you read through. And I would say it's pretty long. And so you may have to read half and then read the other half the next day, because if it's a young child, they may get antsy through the read. So it's okay to break up the book as long as you continue the dialogue. And the book also has an audio with it. And so I find that's an easy way to also get through the book. Just have the child listen to the audio in the car, and they can still pick up the same principles as you're writing.
Exactly. And some children are auditory learners. Some children are, read by learning. Other children watch by viewing. Have you thought at all about creating a video or hoping to get this produced as a series or something?
Yes, someone has reached out to me to produce a series of candy apples, and I'm really excited about that. So we've written the screenplay, the treatment, and now we have to do the next steps. And so I do hope that we can move forward soon. And it all depends on usually it's a monetary issue.
Yeah,
and so
exactly.
And so hopefully I'll be able to move forward with that. I look forward to it being on screen.
Great. Now, would it be animation or live action? Tell us a little bit about that.
I still need more information on what
Right.
exactly we're looking at. But it sounds like it would be animation.
Yeah. Well, that sounds great. And I'm sure Cameron would enjoy watching that as well. What age group do you target with your book, Candy Apples?
I target age 5 through 12 because the younger ages, they can talk through the book with a parent, guardian, or teacher, and then as you get older, you're able to read it on your own and still talk about those things with an adult. Questions, because a lot of my books, well, a lot of what I write in the books, they're abstract ideas. And so it opens up the door for conversation just because it's abstract, like integrity, delayed gratification.
Exactly. Yeah, those are tough concepts for kids to comprehend. They're tough concepts sometimes for adults to comprehend, but you do a good job of breaking it down so it is more easily understood. And like you said, especially if a parent or a guardian or a teacher is reading it to the children. You talked before that you had broken down the concept of choice into stages. What are some of those stages that help a child understand the importance of choice?
The first stage, they have to understand what am I trying to figure out? What is the problem? Once they understand what the problem is, they have to think about, what do I need to decide, and what will be the consequences for my decision?
Right.
And so they'll have to think ahead to see how this decision will affect them in the future. And then there's the decision part where they actually make a decision and enjoy the fruits of their labor, or a good choice, or not enjoy it because they made a poor choice. So really understanding what the problem is, making a decision, and understanding how it affects your life.
Exactly. Now, are there any real life situations that you might have had with Cameron or other children where the book Candy Apples was a good tool because you could say, see, this is what happens if you want something right away when you should actually wait?
Well, I'll go over what happened this morning.
Okay.
Because that's the one I can think of. We also have a hobby of selling socks. They're called Cam 23. It stands for his name, and it also stands for climbing any mountain. And so he really enjoys being an entrepreneur and selling those socks. And someone did buy some from him this morning, and he quickly lost the money that was given to him. And so we were not happy about that. but what the book teaches is self-correcting. And even though you make a mistake, you still can do better the next time you have that opportunity to do better. And so so we were able to work through disappointment this morning, and maybe it'll come up, we may find that money, but just working through disappointment and self-correcting when you get another chance to do something that may not have gone so well before, that's definitely an example that we worked through this morning, and we have the opportunity to work through, and we've worked through it in the past as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Before we leave you today, what would you like the folks at home to know about this book? Parents out there, or teachers, guardians who are thinking about buying the book because they want to help their children make good decisions in life.
What I would like adults and teachers to know about the book is that it's a good tool for helping kids to make positive decisions and thinking through their decisions. And it's also a way to foster communication, so you can have back and forth communication with the child as while you teach, and allows them to ask questions as you also go through the book. And so I would like them to know that it actually teaches making choices.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a wonderful book. It's a great read, and it's an important book for kids. You actually have your own website, ChericeTyRhonda.com. Tell us what that is for.
That's for my readers to understand more about who I am. And it also will show you the books that are out right now. And if you would like to purchase a book, you can also purchase a book through the links on that website. But it gives you more information about me so that we can connect.
Awesome. Awesome. And what's your next book? Is it already in the process? Have you already started writing it?
My next book is Flexibly Challenge Mind and Autistic Flow. And that is for educators and the child to learn ways tools to manage autism.
Okay, great. Well, Cameron did a great job today. You were a good cheerleader for Mom. You sat there patiently. It's tough listening to adults talk for a half hour or so, but you made it through it. I got a feeling this is the delayed gratification. Maybe Mom's got a little treat or present for you, maybe something good to eat after this, since you've been such a good guy and a good cooperative guest. Absolutely. It's giving me the peace sign there. Well, Charisse and Cameron, you have been wonderful. Let me tell the folks at home again the name of the book. It is called Candy Apples. It is a story that nurtures honesty, integrity, and contentment, and helps children understand the very important concept of delayed gratification. This is a book you're going to want to pick up. Charisse has written a number of books. You can read more about her work. You can read more about her writings. You can order her books on her website, ChericeTyRhonda.com. We will have the links below this interview. Charisse and Cameron, thanks so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having us.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight. Take care.
Bye, folks. Bye, ladies and gentlemen.